The Hash It Out Show is brought to you by Barreto Home Solutions, Bayou Audio and Video, Hot Works on the North Shore, JFK Martial Arts in Mandeville and Covington, Lil Dizzy's Cafe, The Green Law Firm, personal injury attorney, Kaylin Parker of Magnolia Wealth Strategies, Moe's Pizza, Lance's AC and Heating, CC's Children Blocks, The Pierre Family in Lafayette, Louisiana, Drums,
Hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move, move, move. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Hash It Out Show. I'm your host, JB the Sports Guy. We got a good one for y'all tonight. Pretty much talking about this NFL draft that's going to be happening on Thursday. And then at 7:30, the sports director of the Advocate of New Orleans will be joining us, the one and only Rod Walker. He's going to talk about the draft itself, what the Saints may do, what the Saints might do, what the Saints should do, and should the Saints move up, should the Saints move down, all that good stuff with Rod Walker. Y'all know I got VK Jones. What's up, VK Jones? How you doing, man?
What's going on, man? Like, tag, share, subscribe to the Hash It Out Show, all social media platforms. We have the Hash It Out Show webpage. It is www. Jared, you might have to put the link up, but it's a brand spanking new site. So go on there, check it out. All our content, all our good stuff. Continue to support us. We continue to do what we do. It was a great weekend, and
What's up, Coach
indeed
Sam?
great Easter weekend. So you know what I'm saying, and a lot of things went on. WrestleMania weekend, great weekend indeed. And let's get it going, man. NFL draft is this week.
This dude had to sneak in WrestleMania
He
weekend.
I'm
did.
What's
sorry,
up, George Peppers?
What's up,
I had to.
Jared
Sports
Boyd,
people
BK
supposed to talk
Jones?
about.
And not to elaborate, but speaking of WrestleMania weekend, somebody needs an education. I'm just gonna leave it there. Jared, you and I had this conversation before the show. VK, I will elaborate, but not here. We'll do it in private. But it was hopefully you guys had a wonderful Easter weekend. You got to spend it with family and friends, and you partook in all the festivities and everything else. It was a great weekend. I had to work, double time and a half speaks very loudly on holidays, so that helps. But and now we're approaching one of the better weeks of the year for us football savants that love the game, love sport, the draft, and it is, I guess, the official start of football season. Right? There's no records won or lost, but teams make mistakes in April. It may come back to bite them in the derriere in September. And some coaches and some teams are going to have to hit this week. Even the team that we cover, the Saints. It's an important draft this week. They're not going to fill all their needs in this draft, but they're going to have to swing and hit for the fences this week. I'm looking forward to talking to Rod Walker. Great guy, knowledgeable, knows a lot. Dean of one of the Dean of sports reporters, very, very adept. Looking forward to picking his brain about what the Saints may or may not do. Jared, I told you what I think they should do, and I guess we'll share that opinion later in the show.
No, we're gonna start off with us talking about it, and
Okay.
then we'll get Rod Walker's opinion at 7:30. So, as you all have heard, the Tennessee Titans have informed Cam Ward that he will be drafted by them as the first pick of the NFL draft. And then the Cleveland Browns have informed Travis Hunter that they will be drafting him with the second pick in the NFL draft. So now let's start all of the chaos with the New York Giants. Because the Giants have been taking phone calls from other teams who are trying to move up. So I don't know if it's the Shador Sanders sweepstakes that has started all of a sudden or what, but a lot of teams have called the Giants to move up. So I think the chaos is going to start sometime on Thursday. I think somebody's going to take a trade, move back. I don't know. But I'm going to start with you, George Peppers.
Okay.
The New Orleans Saints, our area team, is sitting at number 9.
Right.
And we've heard the Saints are taking Shador Sanders, and we hear the Saints are taking Jackson Dart, who has moved from third round to a top 10 pick all of a sudden. And we hear the Saints
Yeah.
are taking maybe Mason Graham if he's there. Man, we don't know who the Saints are taking, but we do know that the Saints has a starting quarterback that pretty much don't want to be here anymore. What should the Saints do, George Peppers? I'm gonna start with you.
You and I talked about this in advance of the show a little while ago. And I gave you who I think they should take. Look, the Saints, like I said at the top, are not going to fill every single need in this draft unless they accumulate a boatload of picks, which I don't know if this is the draft. This is the draft to really get some help later. Um, but in that vein, let's flashback, shall we? This past season, or last season, I guess we could define it. With that said, Marshawn Lattimore got traded. Paulson Adebo goes to the Giants. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah? Can you hear us?
Okay, y'all got me?
Yeah, we got you. Go ahead.
Restream acting a fool already, bro.
No,
I
it's
can
your
hear you.
internet. It's your internet.
I was saying that they've lost two very. It is. It is. Restream acting a fool. It's the team
No,
move.
your
But
internet.
they lost two cover corners. They lost two cover corners in the span of a few months. Where am I going with this? It's pretty obvious. If he's there at 9, Will Johnson is a pick from Michigan. Get him, and you could lock down one of those corner spots.
VK, your thoughts about what should the Saints do?
I hate to say it. I gotta agree with George. I think the logical thing is to go get a corner. I think this is the logical thing for the Saints to get a cover corner since your two top ones are gone. So I think it's the best thing to do for the Saints and everything else. Would I be surprised they go for Shador? I wouldn't be surprised they would go for Shador. But I think, you know, trying to get somebody in the secondary early and everything, because I wouldn't be surprised the Saints will attempt to trade up. But I really think if they're at 9, and I wouldn't be surprised Shador might be gone early or maybe later. We just don't know. But at the same time, I think Will Johnson being in the draft would be obvious get for them because you do want to get a big play, a person that make big plays. Will Johnson has been very consistent to do that. I think that would be the move from the New Orleans Saints.
So here's my thoughts. We don't have a real veteran quarterback on the roster. We don't. And I think you need to have a good, a veteran quarterback, period, on this roster if you're going to draft a quarterback. I really do. I really do think so. Somebody that can, tutor, mentor him throughout the rookie year. That's just how I feel. We don't have that. So I don't know if the Saints will go out and get one just to be, a backup and to help them. I don't know. But when your starting quarterback has a story that comes out and, you know, and now the Saints have to figure out what they're going to do, like, I'm sitting here thinking you need to get a QB. I really do, no matter what. And because the quarterback roster you have ain't been, da 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 da. Spencer Rattler, I got hope and trust in Spencer Rattler, but the Saints got to do what they got to do. They need a quarterback. Derek Carr is not the future, and it seems like Derek Carr does not want to even be here anymore. To come out with that so-called injury in the shoulder or whatever, and he might not be hurt. And we talked about this on the show many times, and I don't want to talk about it anymore. But I think the Saints need a quarterback. I do. Now, I'm gonna say this: Cam Jordan getting kind of old. Chase Young just signed a new contract with the Saints, and Chase Young really hasn't shown anything since he got in the league. We saw the potential all in college and got in the league. So then I'm thinking, if we don't go quarterback, we need an excellent pass rusher to get to the quarterback. We do. And that excellent pass rushers are cornerbacks' best friends. Because you have trouble blocking a pass rusher, pretty much quarterback's going to hurry a pass or get sacked, get hit. I would go Mason Graham. I would. I would go
He won't
Mason
be there.
Graham coming
He
off the
won't be there.
edge. He might.
He
You
will not.
never know.
He,
He
Jacksonville at
might be there.
5. Jacksonville at 5. Unless Liam Cohen goes offense and Tyler Warren's name has come up. Jonty has come up for them at 5. But if they go defense, Graham is a cornerstone guy. He can give you the interior presence you need, and he could free up your pass rushers on the outside. If you're the New Orleans Saints and he's there, you best not take 10 minutes and write that dude's name on that
Don't you
card.
don't you think Jacksonville needs like a wide receiver to help Trevor Lawrence out?
Ted McMillan would be the guy if you're
Oh,
thinking
there he
about it.
is. There
You
he
know,
is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
something like that, or maybe Luther Burden out of Missouri, who I like a lot. I think Burden
Mm-hmm.
is a catch machine. His route running is incredible. Tet is a big guy, but he's not blown it up in college. He's been good, but they're in
What you
love
mean
with his
Ted didn't blow
size.
it up in college? What you talking about, man?
This
Ted
past
was big
year,
time.
this past year, yes, but before that, not horrible, not blow away. I don't know. He's 6'4", 210.
Big.
I mean, that is big, and
Yeah.
his catch radius is incredible. But if you're looking for pass rushers, and you say Mason Graham, what about the kid from A&M, Shamar Stewart,
I'm
the
going
pass
Mason Graham
rusher?
before him. I'm going Mason Graham
I
before
I
Shador
would
Stewart.
too. I'm throwing names out there just to incorporate into the discussion. You put a guy like Stewart, the kid I think is going to be fascinating. Who I like, and I think he's going to get picked in the first round. And I hope it ain't number 15 because Saints fans are going to hate that. Donovan Egbazeku, I think is how you say his name, from Boston College, second leading sack number last year. VK 16 and a half sacks. The dude is a pass rushing fiend. I hope the Falcons are the Falcons and screw up and miss on Mike Green and Mike Green and Marshall and Egbazenko of BC. Look, there's a lot of pass rushers. There's a lot of receivers. You can get another back. There's a lot of guys in the second to the fifth round that are going to be impact kind of players in this draft. That's the strength. Is the top of the draft great? I personally would take Shador over Cam Ward because
I would.
74%.
I would.
I would, and here's why. Shador's lowest completion percentage in 3 years as a starter, 74%. I need accuracy at the quarterback position. I need a quarterback that can find receivers on the consistent basis, and he's done that all 3 years. Once at Jackson State and 2 times at Colorado. Is it his fault their defense is stuck? No, but Shador is an accurate passer. Ward's got the upside, VK, but I personally would make the argument Shador would go in front of him. Just
Let me
because,
see
when
this.
you go ahead.
Answer Coach Sam's question. Do you think Shador Sanders would fit culturally here in New Orleans? Yes, indeed. Without a doubt. We got the wrist, the watch on the wrist, bling bling. Shador Sanders, he like his daddy. Yes, indeed, he would fit here easily, without a doubt. Shador would fit here easily, and just just to know, I think it would work out. Trust me, in the city, and I think the city would fall in love with Shador. Now, I want to ask y'all this. I'm going to go to VK first. I mentioned about chaos happening. I think at the third, once we get to the third pick, the New York Giants. Do you think? Do you think, VK, if the Saints are going quarterback and if they're going Shador Sanders, do you think the Saints need to move up to get this guy and not take a chance and wait for the ninth pick?
Hmm. That's a really good question. It's a really good question. The Giants are known to pull some backdoor stuff. They're known to do that. One side of me says yes, but the other side says no, stay pat. I'm half and half on this because the Giants always pull some stuff. So trust me on that. Would I be surprised the Giants might get Shador? I wouldn't be surprised at all. The
I don't think they're
Giants
going for
always,
Shador.
I don't think so either, but the Giants has pulled some shenanigans in the last decade. That's why I don't trust the
Like
Giants.
what?
All kind, you look at
Okay, like what though?
all kind of shenanigans.
Yeah,
Look,
maybe the Jets have. Maybe the Jets have. The Giants have been basically stick to the board team. They are not one of those that reach for players. Daniel Jones, outside of that, I give you that one. I give you
Daniel
Daniel.
Jones,
But other than that, where
you
else?
trade away your best player and all that stuff. All these acquisitions. We're not just talking about draft. We talking about acquisitions that the Giants has made
But we talk
since
about the
the draft.
draft tonight.
I know we're talking about the draft tonight, but I'm talking about overall
Mhm.
because you have to look at what a team and their pattern is. If you see a bad
Stop bringing up
pattern,
Saquon, sir.
hey,
Stop
I
bringing up
have to.
Saquon. It still hurts.
I have to.
Yeah, it still hurts, man.
It's a fact. I know it hurts you, but it's a fact.
Yeah, it does.
They
Mhm.
pull some stuff. That's why I don't trust the Giants. But another side of it, I would keep it at 9. But I wouldn't be surprised what the Giants do. And I ain't gonna lie, I think the Giants won't go for Shador. I think the Giants might be looking for
You got to
maybe
look at
a higher
Pittsburgh too.
theater.
I
High,
think
yeah,
Pittsburgh really wants Shador Sanders because they haven't got
that
no
too.
word from Aaron Rodgers.
I agree.
Pittsburgh
I
might be
agree.
trying to get up as high as possible.
I agree. I wouldn't be surprised. They're gonna make the attempt. They're gonna make the attempt to trade up and get 3 more than anything else. So Giants, I think they're on the phone right now hearing offers.
They are.
Whoever's the best, the
It's been
best.
reported. The
They,
Giants are hearing a lot of offers from teams that want to trade up.
I think, like I said, they'll pull some stuff. That's what I'll be saying with the Giants. I don't trust them at all. Saints could
Okay.
just stay at 9. It's
Point
just the fact I think, but I wouldn't be surprised. Pittsburgh might do that.
Wait,
point
GP.
counterpoint though. Point counterpoint. I'm not necessarily disagreeing. I just think that what the Giants are going to do at 3, if it were me making this pick, you better blow me away with the offer that would be unprecedented, i.e., give up a ton of picks, maybe a player or two. That's what you're going to have to give me to move out of the 3 slot and pass up a transcendent defensive end, Abdul Carter. I'm not moving unless you blow me away on the phone and tell me I'll give you ones this year. I don't know if they're going to go Kevin Costner and draft day. It's crazy, like 3 years of number 1 picks to go up. I don't think that it would have to be somewhere in the vicinity for the Giants to move out of 3. Now you mentioned Pittsburgh. The hot rumor about them is this: they know the Saints are looking at Shador. But what do you believe? Pittsburgh is going to try to jump to Carolina's spot at 8 to get in front of New Orleans and take Shador Sanders. That's what a rumor I've heard. I mean, it's all over. But New Orleans, now they're putting this story out that New Orleans is higher on than Jackson Dart than Shador Sanders. And I'm like, I like Jackson Dart. He's got a gun for an arm, but big game Jackson ain't that good. Games against teams that are comparable, outstanding. But in high level games, sink, Titanic stuff. I don't know, man. I mean, it's easy to say sit at 9 VK. I'm with you. But if somebody's coming up at 9 and says, look, dude, look, Mickey, I don't know what kind of foresight he's going to have to move back, but this draft is plenty deep in some spots that the Saints need offensive line because you got to replace Ramchick. He just announced his retirement last week. That's a
Yep.
position that has to be addressed in this draft. How do you do it? I mean, Will Campbell's not going to be there. Kelvin Banks will at 9 if you decide to go online from Texas. You could do that. There's many options for Loomis. I just don't trust him in this draft. This is a draft you need a GM that's got foresight and says, look at the depth. Look at the depth of players in certain positions that we need. I personally, coming into Thursday, I'm not sure I trust Mickey Loomis to make the right moves. I really
Well,
don't.
let me say this. Let me say this. This is how I feel because I think we're gonna get a lot of movement happening once the first two are gone. I really do think so. If the Saints if the Saints want Shador, I think the Saints gotta make a move. I really think so. And yeah, of course, that's gonna have to be a future pick. We gotta give up probably a future first round pick for next year. But if you want Shador, but you feel like, hey, we don't get him, Jackson Dart is there, then don't make your move. Don't make your move. Sit where you're at 9. I think Jackson Dart will be there. But hearing reports today that Shador may fall out of the first round, now that I'm just like, what's going on here? Like, how and why? I just don't get it. Like, we serious? Like, the dude completed 74% of his passes. He's very accurate down the field, in the middle of the field. He's an accurate thrower. And we're just gonna now all of a sudden he's dropping. I don't know, man. I don't. It's crazy. Like I said, I think chaos will start at the third pick with the Giants. I think we're gonna see a lot of things happening. We've all said what we would like, who we would like to see get drafted. But in your opinion, guys, who's the best player in the draft? VK.
Mm. It's you know what I'm saying. I looking at it and looking at all these players that's going to be drafted. To be honest, looking at it, it's two players I'm looking at. One, it's Abdul Carter is one. Abdul Carter has been unbelievable, very very consistent and everything else. The other is Shador Sanders. It's no doubt Shador Sanders. You know, you look at him. He has over 30 wins as a starter at quarterback. Over 30, including 3 bowl bids. Didn't get the win, but
You
three
counting Jackson?
wins.
You counting Jackson State, right?
I'm counting it. I'm
Oh
counting it.
God.
I'm counting it.
Okay.
It don't matter because they
What
have
you
so
mean? It does
whoa
matter.
whoa whoa
Level
whoa
of competition
whoa
matters,
whoa whoa
brother.
whoa whoa whoa. There've been many quarterbacks that has done well in the Division One AA
Okay,
and
I
has
didn't.
played
I never
well
said
against.
that. Now you're going off topic. I'm just saying
I'm
level
saying
of
that.
competition
I'm
from
saying that.
HBCU to the Big 12.
I'm
I
saying
didn't say that.
I'm no. This is what I'm saying because this what I'm saying that
That- 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 that-
it sounds like that's what you're saying to me
That's not what I'm
because
saying.
well,
I
no,
didn't. I never. I never
it's
degraded no quarterback from the HBCU. I just said level of competition. I asked
well
you, you count HBCU? You say yeah. And I said okay. Well, there's a level of competition
well
difference.
well there is a level of
I
competition
mean, I know
difference.
about the Steve McNairs and all.
Exactly the point. But the one thing we understand about the difference in competition, but for him to have back to back 11 wins at Jackson State, who has not been relevant in over a decade, we have to think back in the day. Southern used to beat Jackson State on the regular. So that is big for a program like that to catapult and for them to continue what they're doing right now.
That's nice. That's
I'm just
nice.
saying. I
But
know,
I'm
but a
still talking about
competition,
level of competition comparing
right?
HBCU to a Big 12.
But he stepped up. He stepped up when he got into the Big 12. He
I
stepped
didn't say
up.
he didn't.
That's what I'm saying. Like you see the growth from there to there. It's amazing what he has done. You have to think, averaging over 3,500 yards passing, over 75% passing in his entire career, and a winning record. He has three. He has a winning record in 3 out of 4 seasons, and it's amazing what he has done. The consistency, regardless of where he is, he's the best. He's the best player. Him, Abdul Carter, or Travis Hunter. Those are the
Oh,
top four.
now you say Travis Hunter. I was waiting, man. I was waiting for Travis Hunter, man. I mean, man, Jesus. I was
I
waiting for
can
Travis Hunter. Golly.
I
Man, play
can't
both sides of the ball.
I can't forget about Travis Hunter. But what I seen, I'm giving Abdul Carter his props and credit because he looking at his film. He's amazing, man. I mean, natural athlete as he is, bro. I mean, what I see in the bowl game, I was really, really impressed. I said, this Abdul Carter is real, bro. I'm like, he has earned his way to being the top 5 pick in the draft. So that's why I'm giving that respect more than anything else. Travis Hunter is that, but that's the top 3, But saying, but Shador, his consistency, it's amazing why these scouts they always pull this BS. Always try to pull someone down. Always, it never fails. The scouts doing what they're doing. They get paid to do it. That's why they do what they do.
No Cam Ward. Go ahead, George.
Okay, you asked who's the best player in this
That's
draft, right?
correct.
It took VK 8 minutes to give you the best
I
player
know,
in the
right?
draft.
I
Travis
know.
Hunter. Travis Hunter.
And then
How do you
man, he
forget
tried to
a
attack
dual
me about
threat who was a
HBCUs and
finalist?
everything. I'm like,
Well, I'm not gonna get into that debate because HBCU quarterbacks have talent. We've seen it numerous
yeah,
times.
he went off
We're not
he went
gonna. I'm
off
not.
topic about the quarterbacks. I'm saying level of competition.
Be be as it may. There's a couple other players. I mean, you mentioned Abdul Carter. I think he's a better player than Micah Parsons coming out of college.
Ooh,
Ooh,
Jesus.
That's how
wow.
good I think that's how good this dude is. He is that good. And if Joe Shane, if you again, you're gonna have to blow me away if I'm a Giants fan. You're gonna have to really tell me, hey, bro, I'm gonna give you 1, 2, 3, 4, all 5 picks, maybe a player to move up and whatnot. Uh, the Giants better stay at 3. They got 10 minutes, right? I don't know how fast the dude's right in Green Bay, but they best put that flashcard and make sure they spell that dude's name right, Abdul Carter. But if I had to take the best player in this draft, the finalist for the Biletnikoff, Heisman Trophy winner, should have been the finalist for the Jim Thorpe, but there was some foolishness about that with the committee and how they voted and all that stuff. Still won the Heisman. Dual threat. This is this millennium's Charles Woodson, who was adept at both sides of the ball. But I'm going to give you another player that's not going to be the first offensive lineman taken, but y'all better pay attention to this cat. He's going to be a 10 to 15 year plug and play. Armand Menbu out of Missouri. The dude is a fool. He's a freak. And he is just mule strength. That dude doesn't give up pressures, has a great move to lock in on a defender. So somebody's going to get healthy with an offensive tackle. It could be the other New York team at 7, the Jets. And they got Will Campbell picked ahead of them in like New England. Will Campbell's arms are 32 inches and they're small for a tackle. He might have to kick inside. Is Will Campbell good enough to play tackle at the NFL level? Maybe. But I'm not the maybe guy. I need the definite guy. And Membo's a better player than him. But Hunter, best player in this draft. And it's close because Abdul Carter is right there in that race. And you say Cam Ward. Cam Ward gets hokey pokey sometimes with that football too. He makes throws that are not necessary. Like he's trying to thread spots that aren't there. That's why I'm more with Shador than I am with Cam because with Shador, I know he's going to give his receivers the most opportune chance to catch footballs. 74% speaks loudly. His accuracy speaks loudly. Ward's got the stronger arm base wise, but Shador, his accuracy to me is unmatched.
Well, before we take a quick commercial break and bring in the sports director of the Advocate New Orleans, Mr. Rod Walker, I'm going to sit here and tell you the guy that could play on both sides of the ball and that you could probably bring in on third down situations. That's your best player in the draft. It's
Travis
Travis
Hunter.
Hunter. It's
Yes,
Travis
indeed.
Hunter, without a doubt.
Hmm.
Without a doubt. And that's my final word about it. So we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and when we come back,
Look
like
at
I
the
said,
dog.
the sports director of the Advocate of New Orleans, Rod Walker, is going to join us right here on the Hash It Out Show. Are you in need of a new windshield? Leo Auto Glass can help. For 20 years, Leo Auto Glass have been servicing the New Orleans area with windshield replacement and auto glass repair. Give them a call today, 504 301 8353.
Hey y'all, this is Jen Hale from Fox Sports. You're watching the Hash It Out Show with JB the Sports Guy, VK Jones, and George Pepis.
Did you experience storm damage from Hurricane Francine? Barretto Home Solutions can help. You can give them a call at 504 940 7552.
Green Law Firm is a full-service law firm specializing in personal injury, criminal law, successions, and family law. With over 25 years of experience, the Green Law Firm continues to provide efficient, competitive, and effective representation to clients throughout the state of Louisiana and all across the nation. Consultations are free. If you're looking for results, call the Green Law Firm at 504-328-3990. That's 504-328-3990, located at 931 Westwood Drive, Suite B in Marrero, Louisiana. The Green Law Firm.
And welcome back to the Hash It Out Show. I'm your host, JB the Sports Guy, joined by VK Jones and George Pepis. Our next guest, he is the sports director of the Advocate of New Orleans. We have the one and only Rod Walker. Rod, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for joining us. We
Appreciate
appreciate it. Rod, let me ask you this question. It seemed like the Saints were thrown a curveball when this story about Derek Carr's shoulder injury came out. What are your thoughts about that? And do you agree that, the Saints had to change their plans on who they were originally going to draft?
Yeah, I think it was definitely a curveball. I guess we'll find out more on Wednesday when Mickey Loomis talks. He does his pre-draft media availability Wednesday at noon. So that's a question I know he'll be asked. I mean, because if they were blindsided by this, it's just really crazy. And if they weren't blindsided, it's crazy too, because I mean they restructured the deal and all that. So I'm really curious to see what he had to say about that, because I mean it's kind of a big story that none of us were expecting. I don't know if it changes you. To me, it changes you. I think it makes quarterback more of a priority, but I don't know how they feel about it. I mean, maybe they feel okay with Spencer Rattler and they go in a different direction in this with the number 9 pick. So I mean, I know we'll get to the draft here in a minute, but yeah, I don't know. To me, it definitely threw a curveball.
Speaking of the draft, which is happening on Thursday, Saints have the 9th pick. Been a lot of talk about Shedeur Sanders. Then all of a sudden, Jackson Dart is coming up. What are your thoughts on where the Saints are leaning?
Where the Saints are leaning or where I'm leaning, because I'm leaning like if it was me. This is where I'm leaning first. I mean, if it was me, like I'm a big Shedeur guy, man. I've probably watched him more than most people just because I followed him at Jackson State as well before he even got to Colorado. I think I probably watched every game. I may have missed one somewhere along the way, but I just think he's going to be really good. I think the teams that skip over him are going to probably regret it down, 2 or 3 years down the road. And I might be totally wrong. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but I kind of felt this same way last year about Michael Penix, man. Like I was a big Michael Penix guy. I know a lot of people, he had a lot of quote unquote red flags, but I was like a Penix guy, and the Falcons ended up, jumping up and getting him early in the draft. And I think teams that skip over Shedeur might end up like I said, I think they may end up regretting it. So if it's me and I'm the Saints and I'm sitting at 9 and Shedeur is still there, I would take him. Now, if Ashton Genty's there and you really like him, I mean, I can see you taking him too. But to me, if Shedeur is at 9, man, I think you should probably take him. And I know I guess like a week or two ago, he was like the favorite that the Saints would get him, and now he's like falling down to like 3rd, I think, according to Vegas odds. I mean, I think the Steelers are 1st, and then the Giants maybe are where he'll end up. So that'll definitely be the big story Thursday night. I mean, everybody's wondering how, if he falls, and if he does fall, how far he'll fall. He's not even one of the players that was invited to the up to Green Bay, so he's not going to even be there, which was kind of interesting. So maybe maybe the NFL knows that he's going to fall, but I think again, if he falls, I think a lot of teams are going to pay for it. And I know Shador's the kind of guy that's going to have every team that skipped over him, he's going to have that name written on the board somewhere, and every time he plays, and he'll be thinking about the draft night. So it's going to be a really interesting Thursday night for sure.
Is there any chance that the Saints will try to move up in the draft to get someone in particular in an area of need, like defensive end or cornerback?
Yeah, I think there's a chance. I mean, that's what Mickey Loomis does. I mean, he never drafts. I mean, he never trades back in the draft. He always trades up to go get guys that he wants. And again, we don't know what their draft board looks like and what they think the priority is. But one of the things I'm writing about Thursday, I mean, this is a team that whatever position the Saints draft on Thursday, I mean, it's going to be a need because they have a lot of needs on this roster. So I don't think they can really just go wrong anywhere they draft. But so I think there's a chance they could trade up. If there's a guy that they really feel strongly about, if they want Mason Graham or Ashton Genty or whoever, I mean, I think if they feel they need to move up to get him, I think they'll definitely do that because I just think, I mean, that's just how Mickey Loomis operates.
Definitely. George Peppers.
Ron Walker, first of all, thank you for making the time. It's a busy week with the draft. Thank you for making the time for joining us. I'm going to start by being basic. I mentioned this earlier on the show, and you mentioned Mason Graham and Johnson. What about Will Johnson? You lost Marshawn Lattimore in a trade, and Paulson Adebo signed a free agent deal with the New York Giants. That makes cornerback, I think, a big need for the Saints. Alontae Taylor is your other corner. But don't you think a guy like an All-American like Will Johnson, good size, 6'2", almost 200, 197 to be exact, wouldn't you think if you stay put, wouldn't that be a guy you're looking at? Because that is, to me, that's one of the bigger eyesores for the Saints. They need a corner.
Yeah, he's a guy that, I mean, I have a lot of guys listed of guys who I would draft, and if corner's your spot, I mean, I think he's definitely a guy that you'd go after, and him or there's the corner at Texas as well, Jahdae Barron. But he's a guy. But for me, Will Johnson would be that guy if you want to go for that position. When I first started doing my mock drafts like a couple of weeks ago, I think Ted McMillan was probably my main guy. And I'm flipping over to receiver now, but to me, the Saints need a big receiver. I mean, you got Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed and Brandon Cooks. That's basically, three of the same people. Some smaller, fast guys, but I mean, they need this big body receiver, a possession receiver that can, it's 3rd and 6. You need somebody to make a play. They need that kind of receiver, and I think Ted can be that kind of guy. I know his stock fell a little bit when that old report came out about him not liking to watch film and all that. But I just think, I mean, you mentioned corner. I think that's definitely a need. I think receivers a need. I think you get another edge rusher. That's a need. Plugging up somebody in the middle, I keep coming back to Mason Graham. That's a need. To me, safety is the only thing you don't have a need. I mean, I think you're probably okay with Tyron and Reed, but DeMario's getting older. You could use a linebacker. I mean, this team needs a lot. Running back, I mean, Alvin Kamara's getting older. You look at Kendre Miller. I mean, he's shown some potential, but he's been hurt so much you can't really count on him. So that's when I go back to Ashton Genty or Marion Hampton. I mean, this team has a lot of needs, man. So to me, they can't go wrong. If they screw up this number 9 pick and get something weird, I mean, they got to get it right.
And Mickey should be looking for a job if they screw up the 9 pick. That's just that simple. Mickey would have to go in the unemployment line. That said, I like Amari and Hampton a lot in this draft too. That kid is going to be a stud at the next level, and somebody's going to get their hands on that dude probably late first round, maybe Denver at 20 or something like that. Another need, and none of us mentioned it, offensive line. Ryan Ramczyk just retired, and you need a plug and play guy in that spot. I mean, a guy like a Calvin Banks, Membu, if he happens to slip to 9, which I doubt because I think the Jets have been infatuated with that dude. I think they're really in love with that guy. But somebody like a Calvin Banks out of Texas, and I think it's a little high, but the dude from, was it North Dakota State, Zabel? Because he's a 5-position player.
Yeah.
So offensive line got to be another spot, Rod, that I feel like the Saints better get a hand on because it's a strength in this draft.
Yeah, it's a very strong draft there. We didn't even mention Will Campbell, but I mean he's probably not going to be there at 9. But
Mm-mm.
yeah, I mean that's another position that I should have added to that list. I know that offensive line, that's not a sexy pick. Like I think Saints fans want this flashy offensive skill player. They want a quarterback, a running back, or receiver in this draft, or even tight end maybe. But the offense, if they pick an offensive lineman, like Saints fans won't be happy. But that's where games are won. And I mean, you know, if the offensive line's good, it makes everything better. You need somebody who can protect the quarterback, and you know, I don't think you go wrong with doing that. But that's not going to make fans happy.
Yeah, the fans want that number guy, the guy
Right.
that's going to drop numbers. Yeah, I get that. I feel that. It's funny you dropped Kendrick Miller, and I just had this crazy thought. Kendrick Miller is the football version of Zion Williamson for New Orleans. Zion's always heard for basketball and Kendrick for football. I mean, it's not fair to say because he's an immensely talented back out of
Yeah.
TCU. I mean,
Yeah.
but you got to stay healthy and you got to produce. With
Yeah.
that said, you talked about Mickey trading back, never really trading back. I think this is the year he better because the depth in this draft outside of the first round, Rod, is really, really good. Receivers, you can get receivers. All the positions in need that we talked about. The strength is in the trenches, O line, receiver. Uh, Personally, I'm like you. I am not going to have a chance to see the presser tomorrow. I just hope y'all can hide the chewing gum from him, so he doesn't have to worry about it doing the presser because that is aggravating to see. Topping that, yeah. But um, and the Derek Carr thing, does it accelerate the need for a quarterback? Definitely. But what would you do with Derek Carr going if you were Mickey Loomis? What would you do with Derek Carr considering, and let's say if Diana Rossini's report is true, if it's validated and that Derek planted this story to facilitate a move, what would you do?
Well, I mean, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I mean, there's obviously a lot of money tied up in the Derek Carr. Um, but I mean, if he doesn't want to be here, which, and this is just the sense that I get, I mean, it seems like he wants out, right? And there have been reports earlier that
Mhm.
he wanted to be traded, and I don't know if maybe those trades didn't really come to fruition like he was hoping. But man, if he wants to be out, I mean, you might have to just cut your losses, let him go. Because I don't know if you can bring a guy in that doesn't want to be here. I mean, what does that do to the locker room? And you got a first year coach. I mean, who wants to deal with that if he doesn't want to be here? And again, it seems like he doesn't want to be here. So I mean, you just gotta. And if that's the case, then you got to say, okay, we're gonna roll with Spencer Rattler, and to see how it works this year with a hopefully healthy roster, or you go get your guy in this draft. And if you don't get, they don't have to get a quarterback at number 9. I mean, they could, wait till they use that 40th pick, trade up and get somebody late in the first round, like, Jalen Milroe or Tyler Shuck at Louisville. Or whoever. I mean, they don't have to use number 9 for it. But if you don't believe that Spencer Rattler can win you some games, I mean, I think you have to get a quarterback. And of course,
You mentioned Jalen Milroe.
and you got Aaron Rodgers out there who
Go
said
ahead.
he'll play for $10 million. So
Yep.
That would be interesting if you could get A Rod here to New Orleans and everything. He is 42, and though he hasn't looked good with the Jets over the last 2 years, what can we say about that situation? It doesn't. It felt discombobulated really from jump. I think everything just changed when he blew out his what was it? His
Achilles.
ACL in his very first
Achilles.
game
Achilles,
in his first year.
Achilles.
Achilles. Yeah, he blew out his Achilles. So I think from there it just never was the same for him, really. And maybe he's looking for one more fresh start, but New Orleans? I don't think New Orleans has a championship roster on their hands. I think this is a team that needs to kind of rebuild. When you mentioned Jalen Milroe, for me, I would wait if I'm the Saints. I'm addressing other pertinent needs. And if I want a quarterback, Milroe's a developmental guy. I think that guy has the most polarizing upside in this draft. If he gets into the right system, and Kellen Moore feels like the right kind of coach. I feel like if in the third, somewhere in the third round, and the Saints have addressed other needs in the first couple of rounds, I would not be opposed to taking Jalen Milroe at round 3. You're not paying him a ton of money. It's a third round deal. What would you do? Do you think that is it? And before this is my last question, VK, before you take over. But do you think Jalen Milroe makes sense in the third round if you're the GM, if you're Mickey, would you make that
You can
move?
get him in the third round. Yeah, I think that's that might be a steal if you can get him in the third round. But I mean, I don't know if he'll be, I don't know if he's still there at 3 because I mean, he's one of those guys that's kind of been all over different boards too. Some people kind of have him a little higher than that. So I think you can get him in the third round. You do. But again, I don't know how this. I get the sense that you look at all the quarterbacks the Saints have looked at during this draft process. I mean, it makes you feel like they're not really comfortable with riding with Spencer Rattler, and that's just kind of what I gather from it. So if that's the case, I mean, you do have to find your guy, and if you want to wait to the third round and get Milroe and see if it works, then you can try it, and if it works, then you got you a good quarterback in the third round.
Rob Walker, man, what is going on? I thank you so much for accepting our invitation to come on the show tonight and everything. A long time no see.
Man, you know I was gonna do it for you, man. What you talking about?
Definitely appreciate you, man. Gotta ask you this, starting it off, sticking to the draft a little bit. Your thoughts so far, and it seems like every year, and I know these guys get paid to do what they do. Some of these scouts, and I don't understand this. Seem like every year they put they hate. I'm gonna say that it's a strong word, but they always put some kind of salt in certain players' game. Now you have Shedeur Sanders, and a lot of salt is poured on him because they're talking about me, Jared, everybody. We was talking about this earlier that some of the scouts got him sliding down in the draft. What are your thoughts about how these scouts continue to do what they do like this to ruin players, and not just ruin, but why they don't look at the whole picture of the player? If they see something wrong, that's understandable. We see it, but what's the problem with Shedeur? Because I think he, in his 4-year career, has done an unbelievable work winning over 33 games, and that cannot be ignored.
Yeah, and he's done that playing behind some below average offensive lines, which to me is kind of tells you how good he can be. But and the thing I like about him the most, I mean, obviously his accuracy stands out. I mean, I've seen him just make some of the best throws I've ever seen. But he's also like really tough, man. Like I've seen him take a bunch of hits, hop right back up, just get to the next play. And I just think that that's going to go a long way for him in the NFL. But for whatever reason, I mean, his game has been really nitpicked more than anybody else's. And I say for whatever reason, I mean, I think a lot of it is because of who his dad is. And Shedeur has a lot of confidence and swagger and cockiness, whatever word you want to use for it. I don't know if it's really cocky, but I mean, he has confidence in himself. And I think a lot of people, especially in these decision-making processes, I mean, I think they're turned off by that. So they're trying to find reasons not to draft him, and again, I think all these teams are going to regret it, 2 or 3 years from now. And maybe I'm wrong, but this is one of those that I really don't feel like I'm wrong about. And I'm just kind of just waiting for the future to hurry and get here so I can say told you so. But yeah, I mean, he's been, he's really been his game's been picked apart. Like people are like just trying to find reasons not to draft him, not to. I saw a draft, somebody's mock draft today. He wasn't even in the first round, which to me is just laughable to me. Like, how can Shedeur not be in the first round? This is a guy that, I mean, truthfully, I think Travis Hunter was the best player in college football this year. But I mean, Colorado won some games this year that Travis didn't even dress out in. I mean, he missed maybe 2 games. I can't remember. But you take Shedeur off that team, I mean, they don't even have a chance of even being in games. So, and I know they didn't. I mean, I don't know I can't remember what they finished this year.
9-4.
9-4. Okay, I can't remember 8-9-4. Okay, I mean, and some of the teams they played. I mean, I don't know if they beat anybody who finished in the top 25. And I mean, you can nitpick all that you want, but I think what he did in the games I watched, which was pretty much all of them, I thought it was pretty impressive. So,
yeah, absolutely. I know JB was kind of comparing. Yeah, Opposite ours was comparing earlier about the competition, which we knew he made the adjustments and stuff from Jackson State to Colorado and did a great job with that. So, and the biggest thing I was saying, I cannot ignore what he has done at Jackson State, because you look at we understand it's HBCU, but you look at the history overall. It's just the fact that this is when people do deep research. It's just the fact of the matter is, when you observe a program that has been kind of irrelevant over the years, and then all of a sudden you win back-to-back 11-win seasons, that's not ignored because Jackson State used to be at the bottom. The great glory days was back then in the 70s and 80s. Just to be honest and be real. So that's just what it is. It's just something that couldn't be ignored. But the adjustment from the competition, and Jared, you make a great point. It's just the fact, what you do from there to there, and he done some great work adjusting to the Division I competition more than anything else.
Yeah. I'm glad he got a chance to do that. I mean, obviously I grew up in Mississippi, and I was there when Steve McNair was at Alcorn, and a lot of people doubted him just because he ended up finishing third in the Heisman that year, but a lot of people doubted him because of the competition. And Steve McNair, we all know how his pro career turned out. He did really well. So I think Shedeur and Travis, they would have been. I'm glad they got a chance to move on and go somewhere else, because they would have the same kind of doubts about them right now if they had at Jackson State. So, but saying all that, Shedeur went to, ended up going to the Big 12, and for some people it's still not, Pac-12 and then Big 12. For some people it's still not, he still hadn't done enough. So I look forward to seeing how they both turn out. I think Travis is a no, it'd be hard for him not to be successful.
Travis Hunter, best. Now, with your opinion, who is the best player in the NFL draft this year? Because there's a lot of talent, but I know you might say Travis. But what do you think is the best player going into this NFL draft this year?
I'd probably say Travis, just because of, you did it on both sides of the ball. You basically getting two players in one. So it's just hard for me to turn it out. I think Abdul Carter's going to be really good too, but and I think Ashton Gentry's going to be good. And Gentry's that one guy for me that, like, if he's there at 9, I don't know if he's going to be a Saquon Barkley, but if he's there, you get that kind of guy. And I know Kellen Moore just had Saquon this past season when he was in Philly. I think he might be the kind of guy that Kellen Moore says, look, we need him on our offense. So those are probably my top 3. I'd say Travis, Abdul Carter, and then Ashton Gentry. And when it comes to the quarterbacks, to me, I'll probably take Shedeur over Cam Ward. That's just me, though. I think it's probably, maybe they're close, but I give Shedeur the edge. I'm surprised that they got one that's going to go 1 in the draft, and this other guy that people got might fall the second round. I don't think there's that much difference between the two.
Agree.
Very much agree. Looking at the draft, there's always you've been involved in this for a good little while. There's always that one in the draft that really, really kind of stands out, and nobody thought that was going to be really good. Name me a diamond in the rough this year in the NFL draft.
I think I'm probably gonna go with Trey Harris, a receiver out of Ole Miss. I think he's really good, and he had some injuries this season and didn't really get to. But there was a point early in the season. I remember I was in the Saints locker room and I was talking to just some receivers. I talked Chris Olave and just some other receivers in the locker room. And we're talking about Trey Harris, Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State, and Travis Hunter. I was like, hey, which one you like the best? And some of the guys said they thought Trey Harris might be the best one out of all those guys. And again, this was early in the season before the injuries, and I think he's the guy that's going to be a good pickup for somebody. So, if the Saints could get him in the 3rd round, he'd be a guy that, you don't have to worry about getting Ted McMillan in the 1st round. You can get somebody like that in the 3rd round. So he's probably the first guy he's the first one that came to mind when you asked that question.
Very, very much agreed. Very much agreed. Looking at the picks, and I don't know if Jared asked if I'm gonna ask this. We know obviously who's going to be the top 2 in the draft right now. 3 is the New York Giants. Do you expect some beef ruckus? Beef ruckus meaning all kind of shenanigans and mess from the 3rd pick on, especially with the New York Giants at 3. Do you expect any kind of beef ruckus or shenanigans?
So we got Cam going 1, and we got Travis going to Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
No, maybe not at 3. I think after 3 it might be when it happens. I don't know. I still think the Giants will probably go Abdul Carter and And then who's next? New England's next. New England get an offensive lineman. So maybe not. I mean, maybe it's going to be a little later. Maybe right around when the Raiders pick at 6, maybe. I don't know.
Interesting. Gotta ask you this a little bit. There's been a lot going on, just off record a little bit. Like, with Loomis making a lot of these decisions and everything, this is gonna be a critical year coming up for Mickey Loomis, don't you think? Especially all the stuff that's been going on with the Saints and with the Pelicans, especially something to do with the medical staff and stuff like that. What do you think? This is gonna be look like it's gonna be a critical year coming up for Mickey Loomis and that organization.
It's critical as far as the direction of the team. I don't think Mickey's job is at stake. Not saying it shouldn't be, but I just think he's pretty safe. I think, I think him and Gail are at a point where, I just think, I don't know what move they'd make. I mean, he just hired a new coach. And I think you do have to give Kellen more, you got to give him some time to get his guys in place. But they really don't need – they've kind of botched this Derek Carr thing probably. Like, that's a bad look for Mickey if Carr doesn't play and they're paying out his money and, but I don't know if they'll move in a different direction. I just think Mickey's probably pretty safe. Like I just think because of his relationship with Gail, I mean, he's been around so long that I don't think he'd ever get fired. Now he might take it upon himself to say, you know what, let me just kind of move up to like this advisory role or something. Somebody saying I can see that happening, but outside of that, like I don't really see anything else happening that would, have him not working for the Saints.
Okay. Now, I got a question for one of the viewers. If you want me to go ahead and ask that, Jared, if it's fine.
Let me see.
If you're okay with that question.
I'm good with it.
Okay. One of the viewers, they asked the question, this is from Mr. Nick. He says, do the Who Dat Nation have a problem with black QBs?
The fan base.
The fan base.
The fan base?
Yes.
I don't think so. I mean, I think if you're winning, that's all people really care about. I mean, when Teddy Bridgewater he won that 5-0, 6-0, whatever it was that year. Fans were on the Teddy bandwagon. Obviously, the fans were split on Jameis. The training camp when it was Jameis versus Taysom, that was kind of split among racial lines pretty much. It seemed like to me anyway. But I don't think they have a problem. I think if the quarterback's winning, I think the fans will accept whoever it is. I wasn't here during the Aaron Brooks year, so I don't know how it was back then. But I think the quarterback's winning. I think they'd be okay with whatever color the quarterback is. I don't think that's that big of a deal.
Interesting, actually. Last question, Rod. I mean, you have been in this city for a good little while. You come from out of Mississippi, out of the good place of Yazoo City and everything else, man. But, we met a couple years ago when you first started and you worked your way up as the sports director, man. How do you like it down here and how much of adjustment you had to make and everything else? And it seemed like you really embraced the city of New Orleans now more than you ever did.
Yeah, man. I really liked it from the very beginning. Like New Orleans was never a place I even considered moving to. Like I just went on my radar. Like all I knew was Bourbon Street. Like everybody else in Mississippi, we just come down and go to Bourbon Street. Like we thought that was all in New Orleans. And I came here and just so much culture, so much stuff to do. So it didn't take long. I mean, New Orleans has its countryside like Mississippi does to me. It kind of has that Mississippi, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like Mississippi with a whole lot more culture and so I mean I really like it and the passion of the sports fans here is just unbelievable to me. I mean, I talk to people who you wouldn't even think they keep up with NFL football like that, and they just like so knowledgeable about it. I mean, this is like, men, women, just everybody, like they're all in on the Saints, and I think that's what makes this such a special place. And that's why you want to get this draft right, because you want to see this team win again, because the city's obviously much better when the Saints are doing well. I mean, these past 3 years were really rough, and this past year was just awful when you look at what the Saints and the Pelicans did. And I also covered the Pelicans, so that's it was like a rough sports year. I mean, they won 26 games collectively. The Saints won 5 and the Pelicans won 21.
Yeah.
Like the tied for the worst ever for those two franchises. So you
Jeez.
want to see them get it turned around this year and get some wins because I mean, again, it's just a lot better. The stories are better that we write when the teams are winning. The players in the locker room, it's just better to talk. Everybody's in a better mood when the team is winning. So hopefully they can get this draft right and stay healthy. I mean, that's the main thing because both franchises obviously struggle with health this season. So if they can stay healthy and get some wins, I just think things will be a whole lot better around here.
Before I pass this back to Jared Rod, I want to tell you appreciate everything you have done to help me when I was in the state of Mississippi. So I wanted to appreciate. I mean, I had to really, literally talk to this man before I had to made the move to Clarksdale, and I was out there for 3 years working at Oklahoma Community College, and I mean, he gave me a lot that I need to learn, and it's amazing that I've been through the whole state of Mississippi in a span of 3 years, learning a lot about that culture. And to be honest, I do miss it. You know what I'm saying? In Mississippi, to be honest, I love New Orleans, but Mississippi is a very, very interesting place.
It's a unique place, man. Yeah. Have you seen the movie Sinners yet?
Not yet.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
It's actually Clark's. They filmed it in Louisiana, like even somewhere in places in New Orleans, different places in Louisiana. But the setting for the movie is actually Clarksdale. That's why I brought that up.
Wow. Okay.
I thought they filmed it in Donaldsonville.
No, they filmed it in Donovan. Yeah, I mean they filmed it they filmed one scene in New Orleans, but that's different places. But the setting for the actual movie is
It's
in
Clarksdale.
Clarksdale. Yeah, so the little juke joint is in
Wow.
Clarksdale.
Because
Supposedly, so
it seems like the Delta is getting a lot of love because you got the movie centers. Then there was a series on Stars. We're not gonna mention the name that was kind of based their area in the Delta as well, kind of
oh
more
yeah,
of
yeah,
a
yeah,
make
yeah,
believe kind of thing.
yeah.
But the Delta's getting a lot of notice and love. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you saying it about the movie. Seeing is that background is Clarksdale, Mississippi, and that's wow, that's scary and that's amazing. What I heard about the movie, it's an unbelievable. Some say it's scary, some say it's not, but they say it's amazing work from Ryan Coogler.
Yeah, it was. I saw it on Saturday. And I don't. I hadn't been to the movie since before COVID. Uh, but anyway, I ended up going and I enjoyed it, man. I'm not even. Yeah, I'm just not. I'm not a movie buff at all. Like I don't go to the movies a lot, but this one was able to keep my attention, and it was really good, really well done.
Good deal. Rod Walker, sports director of the Advocate New Orleans. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on the show, man. We truly appreciate it.
No problem. Anytime, man. You need me, just hit me up.
Definitely.
No problem. Thank you.
That's Rod Walker. Before I get to Austin Tyler's question, because that was answered earlier, everybody watching, we're gonna be here Thursday, starting at 6:45. We're doing an NFL draft watch along party. So it's gonna be me, VK, George, and then we got Under the Lights joining us also. Jordan Taylor and our boy Holden. They're gonna join us also. The five of us right here with the watch along draft party. Nick, you want to join us, brother? You can join us too if you can do it. Because I did talk about you joining us with this. So
Awesome.
might be six of us. So us watching the draft together and giving you all our thoughts on the picks and who gonna be picked, all that good stuff. So watch along with us, everybody that's watching today and that's gonna watch the replay of the show. We want each and every one of y'all to join us and give us your thoughts and opinions. Now, Austin Tyler asked, should the Saints cut Derek Carr like Denver did on Russell Wilson? And Rod said that you might have to cut your losses with Derek Carr because it seems like he doesn't want to be here. So he did say that. So big thank you to Rod Walker. The draft is Thursday coming up. Guys, we're back here tomorrow. What's your last thoughts about the show tonight? VK, you go first.
Oh man, this is a good show tonight, man. I mean, we thank Rod Walker. I mean, great sports director, done an unbelievable job since he's been here in New Orleans and everything, giving us a lot of knowledge, giving us some insight going into Thursday and everything. It's gonna be, great Thursday to do this watch along for the first time. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's gonna be fun, and I know I'm the one person that said this is maybe not my favorite event, but got to get used to it. You know, duty calls and everything. But great show tonight. You know, we're coming back tomorrow. You know, bigger and better than ever. I think we have a guest tomorrow, I believe. But at the same time, we this is fun, man. We love to be here every Austin, you try to break my pockets, man. Stop. Nah, the man that got the big pockets is down there. Not me, down there. I ain't got them big pockets like that. No, 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 no.
He wears
But
bigger pants size than me, so he's got bigger pockets. Stop the
no,
madness.
no, no, not me.
I'm messing
Not
with
me.
you now.
He might have it, but maybe him, not
Oh,
me.
Jared.
But good show tonight
It was.
Last
though.
words,
Jared might
GP.
have something.
I have last words. Look, to have somebody like Rod Walker, who I admire, I think he's an extremely talented writer, and his knowledge of the game is very good. You pick brains of people like that, and the draft. Look, I'm the quintessential draft Nick. I like the draft. I like it. I've been liking it since I was a teenager when I first got introduced to it. My highlight when I was a teenager and into my 20s was whenever the Jets would pick in New York. And the year they passed up Warren Sapp to get Kyle Brady, I was like, well, that GM should be fired. Passed up a Hall of Famer to get Kyle Brady. Go ahead. And the fans were like letting them know it too. It's like, holy cow. The fans, that part, when I say that, when the fans are that invested in a pick, that's always fun to see. Saints fans, you know, oof, I have heard numerous ones at work tell me, it's like, do you think we'll ever get the draft here because it's at Green Bay this year? The answer is no. The answer is
Well,
no because you got the no. Here's why: because you
why?
have the opening of because if you got the Zurich Classic this weekend. It's the golf tournament. You've got Jazz Fest. If you can move the draft a week earlier, then absolutely. But with what the Saints the foundations already have, I don't think you get the draft here.
Let me
Could
ask
the
you a
draft
question.
steal people
When is Jazz Fest?
this weekend?
Is this weekend?
Yes,
I
sir.
guarantee you. I guarantee you, they can hold
You
the
think?
NFL. Yes,
But
yes.
what I'm saying is the dollar, the entertainment dollar. The draft is not. Well, look, if you've seen the tickets for the draft this year in Green Bay, you know, it's not overly expensive, and But with that said, I would love if they ever decide to bring the draft to New Orleans because you got a passionate fan base. Could you imagine if they brought the
No, no,
draft
no.
here? I think we'd be there.
It's not Mardi Gras. It's not streets getting blocked. Yeah, you got another event going on, but
No,
man, we
it's
got
a
Super
it's a free
Bowls, we
night.
got WrestleManias. They gonna what? Probably put it in Jackson Square somewhere in that big old parking lot like they always do or something. Look, they gonna make it happen. I promise you. I promise you.
The
All
city,
right.
some way, somehow, the city always makes stuff happen.
Yeah.
So regardless of the fact, they'll host a
I would
bunch of events
I would
around.
love the draft to be here. I would love for this event to be in this city. I just thought about the fact because the Jazz Fest attracts a bunch of people. The golf tournament, since they've gone to the team up format, has really taken off again. The Zurich,
Yeah.
and you got the Masters champion
The,
coming this
the,
weekend too,
the,
Rory
the
McIlroy.
crowd has been
So
huge
there's
every year.
draws.
Mm.
It's been huge every year. I'm saying that because I experienced it.
Wait, we're
Zurich
losing.
Classic is a huge event, Jared. It really is.
I understand it. I just don't like the two-man format all of a sudden. That's
But
just me.
but they needed more. They needed something to bring more of the crowd in because I ain't gonna
Well,
lie, the
Yeah.
crowd wasn't
They
bad.
needed that because a lot of the bigger stars don't show up. Some do, but not a lot of them.
That's
Tiger
true.
Woods has never played in the Zurich.
That's right. But at the
nah,
same time,
this year's different.
hey, it was a smart move to go to two. It's smart because you needed something to get a crowd in there, get more of a crowd. And now, for the first time ever, you're going to have a Masters winner in the tournament. So that is big for that tournament there. It's been a growing tournament over the years. Experiencing it and being there, you be there live. I know you've never been there live before. You go there live, trust me, you're gonna like what you see because it's a really nice event. It really is.
Maybe one day I'll go, but I ain't going right now. But
Not right
anyway,
now, not
everybody.
right now. I think we'll try. Well, all of us will try to go together one year because I'm telling you, it's really a nice event.
Yeah, I'll see about that. I'll see.
You're just not a golf guy. That's just what it is. You're just not a golf guy. I
Yeah,
understand. I understand.
I've
that's your
been, I've
opinion,
actually
but
been to Zurich live. I, I've,
Me too.
I've actually followed when Phil Mickelson played here years ago. I went, and me and a friend of mine went to watch the last round. It was the last round. Of course, if you can deal with the sticky, humid conditions, walking 18 holes, that's an exercise in and of itself. But I got to see Phil Mickelson and Ernie Els play,
Mm.
and not in a, I mean, when the format was one play, like a regular tournament,
yeah,
not what they have
two,
now,
two.
but getting to watch Lefty and Els, two greats, and look, the atmosphere in a golf atmosphere. No, I'll tell you what, and I'll give it back to you on this, Jared. Later this year, the Ryder Cup is going to happen. Golf atmosphere, Ryder Cup. When you're playing for your country, bro, that atmosphere is almost
Ryder Cup and
unmatched.
President's Cup totally different.
The passion is absolutely
Yeah,
insane.
that's countries against countries, like the Olympics. That's
Huh?
totally different
Yeah.
from this two person
It
team.
is. But you talk about it sounds like you're a little indifferent. What I'm saying is that it sounds like you're a little indifferent on golf, and
It
everything
ain't
else.
I mean, different. I don't like the two
There have
man
been great
format they
efforts,
went
great
to.
performances.
I don't like the
I,
2-man format they went to.
You
That's
know,
all.
look,
If it was still a regular format, yeah, but I don't care for the 2-man format all of a sudden.
I, I, to me, it was a smart move. To me, it's the
I'm not
fact.
saying it's not a smart move. I just don't care for the 2-man format.
I
That's just it.
understand. I
Yeah, that's all
understand.
I'm saying.
I understand. The Ryder Cup
right
is
here,
a
Now,
huge
Ryder
tournament.
format.
President's Cup, that's something different.
Oh my
Hey,
Yeah,
God, that
yeah,
there. I'm
yeah.
I'm I'm curious what a Ryder Cup is this year. That's what I'm curious on because I hope it's in the U.S. because across the country, I ain't gonna lie, the U.S. has trouble
it
like a
is.
mug if they out the country. Oh, it's in the U.S. this year. Oh, awesome, awesome.
They
Whoo,
still gonna lose. All right. With that being
Yeah, we
said,
got it at
might win
home.
this
So
year.
yeah. All right.
We'll see.
Okay. Okay.
this
All right. With
man's
that
so
being said,
negative, man. Come on now.
I ain't been negative, man.
He,
When
he,
they all be losing, man. Then
he's a
maybe 6 years
contrarian.
later they
You
get a
are.
win. Man, come on, man.
He's the contrarian of this. You know
I
what
ain't
I'm saying?
contrarian. The record
Yeah.
speaks for itself.
No, no, what you're saying is true.
Thank you.
But you're the I'm saying you're the contrarian in a way like, look, this is reality. This was going on. This was happening. So I get it. You know what I'm saying? You got to be the bearer of bad news sometimes, but that's what it is. You're telling the truth about it. Now, when the U.S. wins, it's great. You know what I'm saying? I would love the U.S. to win this year because it's the fact it's home field. Go take your home field and go get the trophy. Tell them people
Yeah,
go
have what you
home.
want. We'll see. All right, we gotta end the show, everybody. We're back tomorrow. Start at 7. At 7:30, we'll have Alyssa Hillard joining us.
Hillard.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, you got it
I
right.
was ready.
You was ready? Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
We got Alyssa Hillard joining us tomorrow at 7:30. So, um, she's gonna talk about a new decision she made, going to another college. She committed to one, and then now she's going to another one. We'll talk to her about this decision and talk to her about her career at Ponchatoula. Um, she already texted me. She wants the questions. So get your questions, send them to me, and I'm gonna send them to her. She wants to be prepared for tomorrow. So we're gonna do that for Alyssa Hillard. And we're back tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Alyssa Hillard at 7:30. And then, like I said, we want you all with us Thursday for the NFL draft watch along party. With us with under the lights. We're collaborating to do this. Me, VK, George Peppers, Jordan Taylor from Under the Lights, and Holden from Under the Lights. So we want all y'all with us for the draft party on Thursday, and of course tomorrow. But we are done for the day. That's VK Jones, George Peppers. I am JB the Sports Guy. We are back tomorrow. Thank y'all for tuning in. Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your aunties, tell your uncles, tell your cousins, tell your nieces and your nephews. to tune in and watch the Hash It Out Show every Tuesday and Wednesday, and then especially this Thursday special edition with the Under the Lights guy for the NFL Draft Party. Thank y'all so much. We'll see y'all later. Y'all take care.
At Bayou AV Security, we are your one-stop shop for all your needs, whether it's enhancing your home entertainment system, securing your property, ensuring a seamless internet connection, or illuminating your outdoor spaces. We've got you covered. Bayou AV Security, where technology meets reliability. Call us today to experience the Bayou difference.
JFK Martial Arts offers a wide variety of martial arts programs for kids, teens, and adults as they empower lives through martial arts. Please give them a call at 985-266-0664 and don't forget to ask about their 1 week free special. Feeling drained from the constant noise in your daily life? Immerse yourself in pure audio bliss with drums. Experience a world of crystal clear sound, free from distractions. Discover the ultimate relaxation and escape into an oasis of serenity. Grab yours today. drumsworld.com.
If you're looking for the best pizza in Metro New Orleans, then you're in the right place. Moe's Pizza has a great selection of Italian food that can satisfy your appetite, and they can also cater to your needs in any event. Give them a call at 504-341-9650 or log on to www.moespizzanola.com, located at 1112 Avenue H in West Wego, Louisiana. Moe's Pizza, Italians do it better.
I'm Shayla.
Thank you for watching the Hash It Out Show. Please